गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Dear friends, in the last class we were studying the Bhashyam under Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. As we saw, it was one of the tough passages where we have seen how the Upanishadic Rishi is trying to put forth before us a definition of what can the supreme reality be. About supreme reality, this Upanishadic Rishi is contemplating, or maybe we can think that some group of rishis, they were doing some sort of brainstorming. So they were trying to identify, or rather they were trying to define, they were trying to describe the Brahman, the indescribable Brahman. How exactly the Brahma can be told. So initially they said Satyam. So Satyam means, that is, how did they say Satyam? That is by observing. We will just recall as to what we discussed in the last class. In the last class we discussed all the three words, that is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, and what the text says about that. Text means the Bhashyam, what the Bhashyam says and all that. We will just briefly recapitulate. So we see the world around us. We see all these objects starting from a ghatam. We see all the objects, and then we see that all these objects are ephemeral. They are there at one point of time, and then at another point of time they are not there. That means they are having a name and form and an ephemeral existence for a brief time, but then they are not there forever. Then you take away this ghatam, you take the whole earth itself. The whole earth also is something which has come into existence a few million years ago. The whole solar system is something which has come into existence a few billion years ago. And then the whole universe is something which has come into existence a few billion years ago. And thereafter the whole universe is going to be resolved into the same Prakriti or Maya. So in fact all this we are not telling by virtue of the wisdom of hindsight, as they say. The wisdom of hindsight is, now that we have got so much of information from science, modern science, physics, etc. So somebody may say that, by you are using your knowledge of science to say that all these are ephemeral, etc. It is not so. In fact, in our own system, our rishis, they had calculated the age of the earth. They had told about the origin of the universe. In fact, their calculation about our timeline, or the origin of the universe, is something which is almost matching with what the scientists say today. Some 4 billion years ago or something like that. This is the time calculated by the Indian astrologers about regarding the origin of the universe. So before that there was another creation. Prior to that there was another creation. So there is a creation which exists for some time, then again it disappears, then again comes into existence. This is our theory, not something which is told by wisdom of hindsight. This is something which is there in our books, which is there in our Vedas, which is there in our Puranas. You take any Purana, there you find the description of the Indian timeline. So the Vedic rishis also, they observed this particular phenomena. They said that everything is something which is ephemeral. And so then if something is there, something called God is there, the God or whatever it is, that supreme reality should be something which exists at all point of time. It is something which is beyond time. It is something which is beyond this phenomena called creation. So that is how they said Satyam. And when you say Satyam, there is a small problem for that. When you say Satyam, something which is eternal and all that, and that is the Karanam for all these things. Karanam is the cause for all these things. There is a small problem. That is, what type of Karanam is it? There are two types of Karanam mainly. That is, the instrumental cause and the material cause. So if it is like clay, if it is a material cause, it is something which is highly delimited. Highly, say Jadam also, it is also Jadam. Then again, if it is an instrumental cause like potter, that potter also is a Vikari, which means that there is a potter, there is something, some material, and then that potter is again ever changing, a person which is having some, say, change in him. So that becomes a Vikari, and any Vikari is also a Jadam. So that Jadatva, the contingency of that Satyam being Jada, Satyam being insentient, that contingency arises. In order to avoid that contingency, the Rishis, they said, Satyam Jnanam. Then Jnanam, what is the meaning of Jnanam? Jnanam, the word Jnanam can mean 2-3 different things. Jnanam means I have the knowledge of this pen. That means there is a Jnaya, there is an object. I have this knowledge about this pen. So Jnanam is something relating to this. So an object. And Jnanam is something Jnana Kartruka. Jnana Kartru also, that is the knower. So that means there is a knower, there is a possibility that Jnanam can be understood as a knower. So if you say that he is the knower, there is something called known. So there is something called knower, known division. So that knower, known division, once it is there, then the knower is also a limited person. Because I am seeing something which is apart from me. So that means a knower-known relationship cannot be there. And Jnayam, this cannot be something which can be a Jnayam also. If it is Jnayam, it is something which is again Jada. It will be a Jada Padartha. So Jnanam has to me, it should exclude karma, karma karakam, and it should also exclude karana karakam. Karana karakam means jnayate anena iti jnanam. That is, by this something is known, the process of knowledge. That also we have to exclude. Because when you add some karakam, whether it is kartru karaka or karana karaka or karma karakam, then that becomes something which is limited only. So in order to exclude that possibility, we have to give a meaning for jnanam in such a way that it is something nothing to do with this karakam, simply bhavarthakam. Bhava sadhano jnana shabda. That is what Shankaracharya was saying. Bhava sadhano jnana shabda, natu jnana kartru. Bhava sadhana means the just root meaning of that dhatu. That is called bhava. The root meaning, jna, just awareness, pure consciousness, just illumination. It is something like what we have seen in Kathopanishad, Suryo yatha sarvalokasya chakshuhu. So the sun is illuminating the whole universe, and then we are able to see everything in the light of the sun. But the sun himself is not touched by any of these things. So it is, jnanam is something like that. It enables this cognition, it enables this jnanam, jnata, and also jnayam, that triputi. Whereas jnanam itself is beyond this triputi. It is something like, say you bring a torch into the dark room and then you switch it on, and then in the light of that torch you can see things, but the light itself is not seeing, it is somebody else who is seeing. So like that, the jnanam is something which is untouched, jnanam is something which is beyond, it is just pure awareness, pure consciousness which is reflecting in the antahkarana of people, antahkarana of the jiva. So jnanam is something which is beyond this thing. And it is also called anantam, in order to exclude the possibility that jnanam is limited. That is, jnanam, when you say jnanam, what is the meaning of the knowledge of this pen? What exactly is this knowledge of the pen? It is a vritti which takes place in my mind. Vritti means it is an impression which is there in my mind. My mind undergoes some change. So that change in the mind is called chitta vritti. That my mind takes the shape of this pen. When I say that I am seeing this pen, my mind, this thing, it appears in my mind. My mind temporarily takes the shape of this pen, that is called chitta vritti. That sort of modification, mental modification as it is called chitta vritti, and chitta vritti also is jadam. So in order to avoid that contingency where jnanam is again called jadam, jnanam again is called something limited, then anantam is the word, another word which has been used by the Rishi. So satyam, jnanam, anantam. So by using all these three words, we have excluded all possible errors. So we have excluded all possible errors, and we have also defined the Brahman as something which is, by saying Satyam, you are saying that it is beyond this Karya Karana Sambandha. It is something which is ever existing. It is pure existence. Nothing to do with Karya Karana relationship. When you say Jnana, it is pure consciousness or awareness. Nothing to do with this Jnata, Jnayam, Jnanam, the Triputi, beyond this Triputi. And when you say Anantam, it is devoid of all types of limitations. So in this way we have defined this, the Vedic Rishis have defined the Brahman, and we can see that this is one of the finest ways in which the supreme reality can be described. So we are up to this point, yatra nanyad vijanati yatra nanyad vijanati sa bhuma atha yatra anyad vijanati tadalpamiti shrutyantarat. So this was supported by saying that this jnanam is something where he does not see anything else. He does not see any duality. Where in that state of awareness, the person does not see any duality. So that is what is called bhuma. Yatra nanyat pashyati sa bhuma. This chapter is from this quotation is from Chandogya Upanishad, where Narada goes to Sanat Kumara. The sage, the divine sage Narada, he goes to Sanat Kumara. Sanat Kumara again is supposed to be a very great Rishi. Sanat Kumara, the Sanaka, Sanandana, those four people, they are supposed to be the Brahmamanasa Putras. They are the people who have directly appeared from Brahma. Suppose they are said to be very wise people, jnanis. So right from birth. So they are. So this Narada approaches one such person, and then he wants to know what is Brahman. So in that context, this thing is going on. So for when Shankaracharya says that yatra nanyad vijanati sa bhuma, there is again a Purvapakshi questioning about this anyat, yatra na anyad vijanati. It literally means where he does not see anything else. So for that there is a Purvapakshi coming with a question. So we have to start from there. Nanyad vijanati iti vishesha pratishedhat atmanam vijanati iti chet na. So you see, there is a what did we see in that earlier line? He does not see anything else. So that means he does not see any division. So the Purvapakshi, basic Purvapakshi, in fact we are presuming that Purvapakshi, we are presuming some possible doubt which may arise. So the possible doubt which may arise that when you say that he does not see anything else, it may mean he is looking at himself, isn't it? When I don't see anybody else, means I see only my wife, or I see only my child, and then I am spending time with my child or something like that. I don't see anybody else. So which means I am spending time with my books, I am spending time with my children, my wife, etc. So that is what it means. So yatra nanyad vijanati means he does not see anything else. Iti vishesha pratishedhat. Vishesha pratishedhat, by denying any type of vishesha, by denying any type of person who is being seen, by denying that, and by denying any type of substantive, then vishesha pratishedhat atmanam vijanati, he knows himself. Iti chet na atmanam vijanati iti chet na, it is not so. Let us read. Bhuma lakshana vidhiparatvad vakyasya.
Bhuma lakshana vidhiparatvad vakyasya.
Yatra nanyat pashyati ityadi.
Yatra nanyat pashyati ityadi.
Bhumno lakshana vidhiparam vakyam.
Bhumno lakshana vidhiparam vakyam.
Yatha prasiddhameva.
Yatha prasiddhameva.
Anyonyat pashyati ityetad upadaya.
Anyonyat pashyati ityetad upadaya.
Yatra tan nasti sa bhumeti.
Yatra tan nasti sa bhumeti.
Bhuma swarupam tatra jnapyate.
Bhuma swarupam.
Bhuma swarupam tatra jnapyate.
Bhuma swarupam tatra jnapyate.
Okay. So he says, Siddhanti says, no, it is not so. You can't take the meaning that he is looking at himself. The context is totally different. That is Bhuma Vidya. Bhuma Lakshana Vidhi Paratvad Vakyasya. This Vakyam is Bhuma Lakshana Vidhi Param. Bhuma. What is Bhuma? Bhuma is nothing but Brahma. Brahma is nothing but Atma. So Bhuma Lakshana. Lakshana means to definition. Vidhi. Vidhi means prescribing. Bhuma Lakshana Vidhi Paratvat. The purpose of this particular sentence is to define what is Bhuma, that is what is Brahman. So the purpose is that. So here in this Vanamala, he is giving a further explanation. Brahmanaha dvaitarahitye nyayam shrutir manam ityarthaha bhumanam bhagavo vijignyase iti bhumalakshana jignasayam satyam. So this Narada goes to Sanat Kumara and then he requests Sanat Kumara, O great sage, bhumanam bhagavo vijignyase, O Lord, hey Bhagavan, bhumanam vijignyase, I want to know about this Bhuma, I want to know about this Brahman. So that is the context. In that context this has been told, and not say to say that he is excluding, he is not seeing anybody else, he is looking at himself. It is not like that. So Bhuma Lakshana Vidhi Paratvad Vakyasya Yatra Nanyat Pashyati Ityadi. He is referring to the earlier line. Yatra Nanyat Pashyati, Nanyat Shrunoti, Nanyat Vijanati, Sabhuma. He is referring to that line. So all that, saying that he does not see anything else, etc., etc. Bhumnaha Lakshana Vidhi Param Vakyam. Bhumnaha means of this Bhuma. Of this Bhuma. Lakshana Vidhi Param Vakyam. This sentence is to define what is Bhuma. Is it clear? He does not see, when you say that he does not see anything else, you see, when he says Yatra Nanyat Pashyati, Purvapakshi says, it has not been very, very clearly said that he is not a knower. He could have said he is not a knower at all. Instead of saying that he is not a knower at all, he said he does not know anything else. So that is where the Purvapakshi again wants to misinterpret. So he says, no, it cannot be misinterpreted like that. It only says that there is no Jnana Kartrutvam there. He is not a Jnana Kartru. The basic point is to say that Brahma is not a Jnana Kartru. There is no question of seeing. There is no question of knowing. So that is the point there. Then Yatha Prasiddhameva Anyo Anyat Pashyati Ityetad Upadaya. Yatha Prasiddham. Yatha Prasiddham means Lokasiddham. Lokasiddham means what we normally see in the world. In what do we see in the world normally? Yatha Prasiddham, Lokasiddham, what is it? I look at you, you look at me. That means I and you, we are two different entities, and then we are looking at one another, each other. So that is what is Yatha Prasiddham. That is what is generally seen in the world. Yatha Prasiddhameva Anyaha Anyat Pashyati. A sees B, B sees A. So that is the Anyaha Anyat Pashyati. One sees the other. So that Upadaya, having accepted that situation, that Bhuma Lakshana Param Vakyam, that definition which is going to, that definition about Bhuma is saying that Yatra Tan Nasti Sa Bhuma. So there it is excluding the contingency that it is Jnana Kartru. It is excluding the possibility that Bhuma is a knower. So in the last class also I said there can be a question about God is omnipotent, omniscient, etc., etc. God is omniscient. God is omniscient means what does it mean? God knows what you are thinking, what is happening in my mind, what is happening in some dog's mind and all that. It is not like that. That is at a lower level. We are thinking about a sort of empirical level of God, but not this supreme reality. When you are referring to the supreme reality, that Brahman is something which is beyond all these things. There is no knower and known. When you say that he is knower, then he becomes limited. Knower, as distinguished from the known, he becomes limited. Isn't it? This point you have to very, very clearly remember. When you say that God is knower or God is sarvajna, you are not praising God. You are actually limiting God. When you say that God is sarvajna, God is omniscient, when you say that God is omniscient, you are not actually praising Brahma. You are only talking about some lower level of God, or a transactional level of God, which we accept at the level of religion. At the level of religion, you talk about a God, that God comes, creates, and then all these things he does. and then he rewards good people, punishes bad people, and all these things. That is a structure. So that is at that level we are talking, but not at the supreme level. At the supreme level, the God, there is no question of person, there is no question of a human being or somebody like that. You can't even use a masculine gender or a feminine gender. You have to just denote it as it, an entity. It is just an it. It is pure existence, pure consciousness, pure infinite. So it is like that. So bhumna lakshana vidhiparam vakyam. So yatha prasiddhameva upadaya tannasti tatra yannasti sabhuma iti bhuma swarupam tatra jnapyate. The bhuma swarupam is being told there, being reminded there. Jnapyate. Shastram jnapakam. This is another word which we have seen. Shastram always says about something which is not known, it just tells. Shamsati iti vakyam. So it tells, oh, this is how it is. So it is for you to realize. It is for you to think about it, contemplate on it, and then to realize. So that is the point. Then anyagrahanasya prapta pratishedharthatvat.
अन्यग्रहणस्य प्राप्त
प्रतिषेधार्थत्वात् न स्वात्मनि क्रियास्तित्वपरं वाक्यम. So अन्यग्रहणस्य, this anyatra etra nanyat pashyati, that taking that word, you are using that word anyat. Anyagrahanam means why the text has used that word anyat. So that's what he is saying. Anyagrahanam means the reason for the text to take up to use that word anyagrahanasya. What is the purpose of that? Prapta pratishedharthatvat. You see, a contingency has arisen where Brahma is a knower. So it has to be negated, it has to be denied. Prapta pratishedhatvat means some contingency has arisen. Praptam means a contingency has arisen. Pratishedham, you have to deny, you have to negate it, you have to deny that, you have to refute it. So when you that anyagrahanam, that anyagrahanam is that anyat is being used by the text only to negate that Brahma is not a knower. Brahma is not a knower. Na swatmani kriyastitva param vakyam. It is not as though it is say indicating some sort of kriya in one's own self. It is not indicating kriya. Kriya means what type of kriya? Kriya of seeing. Seeing also is a kriya, isn't it? Knowing is a kriya. So it is not indicating the kriya. It is not indicating the activity of knowing. It is not indicating the activity of knowing in respect of Brahman. It is only saying that there is no question of knowership. Brahman is not knower. The purpose is that the use of the word anya is only to say that prapta pratishedham. The contingency has arisen where you may misunderstand it as a knower, in order to dismiss it, in order to negate it, and not to say that Brahma has got an activity within himself, that activity of knowing himself. It is not like that. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Na kriyastitva param vakyam. Okay. Swatmani cha bhedabhavat Vijnananupapattihi. Swatmani cha bheda abhavat. And within one's own self, Swatmani cha bheda abhavat. You see, Atma is Niravayavi. Brahma is something which is Jnanam, Anantam. This is something which is Niravayavi. There are no parts in that. When there are parts only, you can see, I can look at my hand, I can look at my leg or something. So it is not like that. Swatmanicha bheda abhavat. In jnanam, that pure awareness, pure consciousness, there is no division. So that is why where there is no bheda abhavat, vijnana anupapattihi. There is no question of knowing. So for this there is again a note which is by this Vanamalakara yatha prasiddhameva bhranti siddham swatmanicha. Okay, swatmanicha bheda bhavat, he uses one more word. Kartrutvam karmatvam cha ekada ekatra viruddhatvena. So it is called kartru karma virodham. So a person at the same time he cannot be a karta and he cannot be a karma. He cannot be a subject, he cannot be the predicate also. So that is what it says. So that kartru karma virodha will arise. So in that atma there is no question of action, because it is there is no bheda. There is no question of the activity of knowing. There is no question of the activity of knowing. Vijnana anupapattihi. Then Atmanascha Vijnayatve
Atmanascha Vijnayatve
Jnatrabhava Prasangaha.
Jnatrabhava Prasangaha.
Atmanascha Vijnayatve means if you contend or if you think that self is something which is knowable, if you propose, if you contend that self is something which is Vijnaya, it is Vijnayam, Jnaya, that is Atma is something which is knowable. So, you see it earlier, what we have been doing, we have been negating the idea that Atma is not knower. Now he is coming to Jnayam. Why not we say that Atma is Jnayam? That also cannot be accepted. If you say that Atma is something which is Jnayam, then who is the knower? There is no knower at all. So you see, Kartrukaraka, Karmakarakam, this Manamalakara, he gives a very good explanation. I will first explain it. You see, for this word Jnana, there can be 2-3 derivations. That is, Jnayate yat tat jnanam, that which is known. Jnayate, that which is known, that is jnanam. This is called karma vyutpatti. That is deriving that word by with reference to karma, with reference to that act, that being the subject. Then jnayate anena, that is by this something else is known. This is called karana vyutpatti, where this jnanam becomes the tool. Jnayate anena, this karana, it becomes the tool or instrument. That is the instrumental case, karana vyutpatti. So this vyutpatti, this type of karakam cannot be applied in the case of jnanam. So that is the point. If you say that it is jnayam, then who is the jnata? So that is what is the point here. Atmanascha vijnayatve. Vijnayatve means vijnayatve sati. In case Atma is something which is knowable, in case you contend that Atma is something knowable, then Jnatrabhava, Gnatru Abhava becomes Jnatrabhava. Abhava means there is no knower. There is no knower at all. Then Jnanam itself it becomes a Jnayam. There is no knower. Then Jnayatvenaiva Viniyuktatvat. Because he has already been limited as Jnayam. He has already, this Jnanam is already limited as Jnayam. So then where is the Jnata? So that is the point. Then another Purvapaksha comes up. Eka eva Atma Jnayatvena Jnatrutvena cha Ubhayatha Bhavati iti chet Na Yugapad Anamshatvat. Yugapad Anamshatvat. Okay, this is a contention. This is slightly similar to the earlier contention. Eka eva nanyad vijanati, when you say he looks at himself. Then instead of looking at himself, what this Purvapaksha is saying is, there can be division, there can be an internal division. Eka eva Atma, in this Atma itself, there can be one Chidamsha, there can be one Jadamsha. Chidamsha means this, the concept, the what you call intelligence, what you call say consciousness, and Jadamsha, what you call insentient, what you call matter. So this consciousness and matter, Chit and Jada, both are in one only. And why don't you say that Jnanam is something, this Brahma is something which is a combination of this consciousness and matter. So that is what is the question. You see, Eka eva Atma, you also see the word Atma is used here. We have been seeing, we are now talking about Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So the Brahma is forgotten and then we are using the word Atma, which means that Brahma is not different from Atma, Brahma is not different from Bhuma. So that is it. Eka eva Atma Jnayatvena Jnatrutvena cha. It is both the Jnayam. Jnayam means it is insentient, it is matter. Jnatrutvena, it is also Jnata, which means it is consciousness. So this consciousness and matter, Chit and Jada, both are there in one entity called Brahma. In fact, this is what is called Bhatta Matam. There was a gentleman called Kumarila Bhatta. Kumarila Bhatta was a very, very well-known Mimamsaka who died just prior to Shankaracharya's, the Shankara Vijayam says that in fact Shankaracharya, he also he met Kumarila Bhatta, that is what the book says. Around that time, Kumarila Bhatta is of that time. So in fact, this argument is Chidamshena Jnata, Jadamshena Jnayasya Bhavishyati. This is the commentary by say Achyuta Krishnananda, अंशद्वयोपेतत्वात् चिदंशेन ज्ञाता जडांशेन ज्ञेयश्च भविष्यति अतो न ज्ञात्र भाव प्रसंग इति भाट्टमतम आशंक्य निषेधति. So that is what is the note given by Vanamalakara. That is Chit Jadavadam. Chit Jadavadam was later accepted by Visishtadvaita also. Visishtadvaita of Ramanuja. In fact, they accepted this thing. So that is why it is called Visishtadvaita. What Visishta means? The full name for Visishtadvaita is Chid Achid Visishta. That is Chit and Achit Visishta Advaita. So there is only one Brahma. They say that there is only one Brahma. But at the same time, in that one supreme reality, there is this Chidamsha and Jadamsha. Both are very much there, they say. So whereas Advaita says that there is only Chit and this Chit is appearing as matter. Consciousness is appearing as matter is Advaita. Consciousness and matter both are there in that supreme reality is Vishishtadvaita. These two things are separate. God is separate. The supreme reality is separate. Chit is separate. Matter is separate. All these things are separate. That is what is called Dvaita. That is Madhvacharya. That is the Dvaita. So broadly speaking, if you have to remember that. That is, there is only one consciousness which is appearing as the whole universe. How is it appearing? By virtue of what is this manifesting power called Maya. In that Maya, these three gunas, and then those three gunas, interaction of these three gunas, etc., Akasha, Vayu, etc., they have manifested. So it is all just a manifestation only. And say the supreme reality is that all these things is ephemeral, there is only one Brahman. So that is what is Advaita. The Vishishtadvaita says this is Chidachid Vishishta. It includes Chit and Achit. So that is the Bhattamatam, Kumarila Bhatta's matam, which is accepted later by Sri Ramanuja. Then Madhvacharya says these two are totally separate. So it is like that. So here now we are seeing this Vishishtadvaita matam. Where are we? Ekayeva Atma Jnayatvena Jnatrutvena cha Ubhayata Bhavati. It is both. It can be both. It Bhavati iti chet na Yugapad Anamshatvat. Because Atma is something which is Niravayavi. It is partless. There are no limbs in that. If you are visualizing this thing as Avayavi, then any Avayavi again becomes limited. Any Avayavi, anything which has got parts in it, it becomes delimited. So this Atma is something which is Niravayavi, Atma is something which is Ananta. Anything which is Ananta or infinite, it cannot have any limbs, it cannot have parts in it. So Yugapat means simultaneously. It cannot simultaneously be the knower and the known. It cannot simultaneously be the Chit and Jada. Chit can appear as Jada, that's a different thing. But Chit and Jada both cannot be there together. So that is the point. Yugapad Anamshatvat Nahi Niravayavasya Yugapat Jnaya Jnatruttvopapattihi.
युगपत् ज्ञातृत्वोत्पत्तिः
Jnatrutva upapatti. Upapatti means the possibility or reasonableness. So nahi niravayavasya, of anything which is niravayavi. Niravayavi means infinite. There is no other way. You and I are all avayavis. Anything you say is avayavi. The moment this word Niravayavi used, it refers only to Brahma, it refers only to Atma, it refers only to Jnanam. So that is it, Niravayavi. So Nahi Niravayavasya Yugapat means simultaneously Jnaya Jnatrutva Upapattihi. This to say that it is Jnayam and Jnata, it is unreasonable. It doesn't fit in there. Upapatti means it is logically establishing something is called Upapatti. So it is just not logically possible. It is just not logically possible to say that one thing can be knower and also the known at the same time. Then, any other note here? Jnana Kartra. Jnana Kartrutvad Visheshasya Jnana Tadanukula Vyapara. Okay. Tasmad Jnatrutve Sati. Where are we? Atma Yugapat Jnayatopati. Okay. Atmanascha घटादिवद विज्ञेयत्वे ज्ञानोपदेश अनर्थक्यम. Or another point is Atmanasya Ghatadivat Vijnayatve. If Atma or Brahman is something which is knowable, something like an object, Ghatavat. Ghata means, for example, you take this as Ghatam, or it is not a part, it is a pen, but you call it Ghatam. Ghata means any object, you take it as a synonym for any object. So if Atma were to be an object, and if it were to be known like any other object, then there is no purpose of Shastra to say about this Atma. Shastra is there to tell about something which is not known. Shastra is not there to tell about something which is knowable, which is ordinarily known. Even that is the job of science. The job of science is to examine the external universe. It is the job of the science to examine a cockroach. It is the job of science to examine a frog, dissect a frog and see what is there in a frog. But it is not the job of science to tell about Brahma. And to tell about Brahma, this type of contemplation is needed. So Shastra tells about Brahman which is not known. So Atmanasya Ghatadivat Vijnayatve Sati. That is, if Atma is something which is knowable just like any other object, then Jnanopadeshasya Anarthakyam. Jnanopadesham becomes purposeless. It is not, it is something which is a very pedestrian thing. Shastra is not meant for such pedestrian knowledge. Then Nahi Ghatadivat Prasiddhasya Jnanopadesho Arthavan. The same thing he is saying in a different way. Nahi Ghatadivat Prasiddhasya, of something which is so well known as a Ghatam. Ghatadivat Prasiddhasya, that is of an object which is so well known, so well cognizable like a Ghatam. Jnanopadesham na arthavan. Jnanopadesha, telling about it, is na arthavan. It is just meaningless. Then tasmat Jnatrutve sati Anantyanupapattihi. Okay. Jnatrutve sati. This is what this argument, in fact, I told you yesterday also. When you say that it is Jnata, then Anantyam is not possible. Anantyam means infinity. If you say that he is a Jnata, if you say that he is a knower, then infinity is not possible, it is ruled out. Because there is a knower, there is something known, there is a division, there is a duality. So that when the division is there, he is no longer Ananta. So that is the point. Jnatrutve sati Anantya Anupapattihi. Here there is a note by Achyuta Krishna. I am reading this Achyuta Krishna notes also because we can understand it more clearly. What he writes is Jnana kartrutvadi visheshavatvam Jnana tadanukula kriyadi rupa parinamavatvam. So you see, when you say that he is a Jnana kartru, that is a knower, then this knower, he doesn't keep quiet. Jnana tadanukula kriya. He wants to undertake some action in accordance with his knowledge. This Jnana kartru or knower, he simply cannot keep quiet. So suppose you know something, you cannot keep quiet, you want to use your knowledge, isn't it? So like that, tadanukula kriya, there is an activity. So when there is an activity, there is some other thing called jada. There is some other thing with which you undertake your activity. So which means obvious duality. So all these things will appear and then it is no longer anantam. So Anantya Anupapattihi. Then Sanmatratvam cha Anupapannam Jnana kartrutvadi visheshavatve sati. So see the second part first. Jnana kartrutvadi visheshavatve sati. All this tvat, tva, all these words, if you just simply break and understand, if you say that it is Jnana kartru, if you say that it is Jnana kartru, etc., Jnana kartrutvadi visheshavatve sati. If you say that this Atma is something which is Jnana kartru, knower, etc., it is knower, known, etc., etc., if you say, then what does it mean? If it is a knower, then it cannot be pure existence. Sanmatratvam cha anupapannam. It cannot be pure existence. This pure existence, when you say, what did we talk about pure existence? When you say that Sat is, Sat alone is there and this Sat is the Karanam for everything else. When you say it is Sat, Sat becomes the Karanam for everything else. So that is why we said this Sat is not Karanam. When you say it is Karanam, it becomes Jadam. It becomes insentient. So in order to avoid that thing from becoming insentient, we said it is beyond Karya Karana. So when you say Sat, this existence is something which is beyond Karya Karana. When you say Jnanam, this Jnanam is something which is beyond Jnata Jnayam, this Triputi. So that is how we define. So that is why when you say this Jnana Kartru, Sanmatratvam cha Anupapannam. Sanmatra means pure existence. Sat is existence. Matra is not connected with anything else. You know the word Tanmatra, Bhuta Tanmatra. Bhuta Tanmatra, what is this? Akasha Tanmatra, Gandha, what is this? Bhumi Tanmatra, etc. What does it mean? Tanmatra means that alone, not mixed with other things. When it is mixed with other things, it is called Panchikaranam. Mixing with others and then all these 5 elements taking place. So of course that also we are going to see. So anyway, here Sanmatratvam means that is pure existence. Sanmatra, pure existence, unmixed by anything. The unmixed by anything means it is not Karya, it is not Karana. It is beyond, it is above that Karya Karana relationship. So that is what is Sanmatratvam. Sanmatratvam cha Anupapannam Jnana Kartrutvadi Visheshavatve Sati. If you say that it is Jnana Kartru or a knower, then the Sanmatratvam is ruled out. Because when it is a Jnana Karta, then obviously he is tinkering with that existence. So when he is tinkering with that existence, obviously it is Jadam. So that Sanmatratvam is also ruled out. So all these problems will arise. Is it clear? Sanmatratve Sati.
Yeah.
Shrutiyantarena Sanmatra Satyayoho Abheda Darshanat. Okay. Sanmatratvam cha Anupapannam. So pure existence is beyond that Karya Karana relationship. So knower means when you say that he is a knower, then obviously this knower is doing something with that existence. And with that existence he is creating the universe or something like that. All these things, all these presumptions will come into place. So that is why it is this. It will not be Sanmatra any longer. So that is the point. Then Sanmatratvam cha Satyatvam.
Sanmatratvam cha Satyatvam.
Tat Satyam iti Shrutyantarat.
Tat Satyam iti Shrutyantarat.
So Sanmatratvam, that is pure existence. That is what is that pure existence is what is called Satyam. And how do you know? Because another Chandogya Upanishad line also is there. What it says? Tat Satyam iti Shrutyantarat. Tat Satyam. That Sat, this Brahma is something which is Sat or Satyam. Tat Satyam iti Shrutyantarat. It is from this Chandogya Upanishad. So then Tasmat Satyananta Shabdabhyam Saha Satyananta Shabdabhyam Saha
Satyananta Shabdabhyam Saha
Visheshanattvena Jnana Shabdasya Prayogat Bhavasadhano Jnana Shabdaha. Okay, Tasmat. Therefore, Satyananta Shabdabhyam Saha Visheshanattvena Jnana Shabdasya Prayogat. So this Jnana Shabda is used as a Visheshana. Jnana Shabda is used as a Visheshana along with Satya Ananta Shabda. Satya Ananta Shabdabhyam Saha means along with the words Satya and Ananta. Visheshanattvena Jnana Shabdasya Prayogat. This Jnana Shabda, because this Jnana Shabda has been used as a Visheshana along with this Jnanam and along with this Satyam and Anantam, Bhava Sadhano Jnana Shabdaha. You cannot give any other meaning to this word Jnanam. It is mere pure consciousness. Bhava Sadhanaha. Yesterday we discussed that word Bhava Sadhano Jnana Shabdaha na Jnana Kartru Visa. Bhava is just the Dhatvartha. Bhava sadhana. Sadhana means pratyaya. Bhava pratyaya. You can say, you can write also sadhana actually means pratyaya. It is bhava pratyaya. Jna dhatu. That is just jnanam. Just pure awareness. Nothing else. There is no question of knower. There is no question of jnayate anena. There is no question of jnayate yat tat jnanam. So it is Kartrukarakam, Karanakarakam, Karmakarakam, all these things are negated. So it is pure awareness. Jnana Matram. So that is it. Bhava Sadhano Jnana Shabda. Is this word clear? Bhava Sadhana. That is Bhava. It is just an abstract concept, abstract noun, not exactly abstract noun, abstract notion. Say, let us say, abstract notion of Jnanam. So bhava sadhano jnana shabdaha. So it means the conclusion is it is not jnana kartru. The conclusion is that it is not a knower. There is no knower known relationship in that jnana. That is the point. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then jnanam brahmeti
ज्ञानं ब्रह्मेति
कर्तृत्वादि कारक निवृत्त्यर्थम
कर्तृत्वादि कारक निवृत्त्यर्थम
मृदादिवत् अचिद्रूपता निवृत्त्यर्थम च प्रयुज्यते.
मृदादिवत् अचिद्रूपता निवृत्त्यर्थम च प्रयुज्यते.
So this also I explained yesterday. Jnanam Brahma iti. So this Jnanam Brahma iti vakyam. That is to say that consciousness is Brahma. To say, why did we say that? Kartrutvadi karaka nivrutyartham. So that Kartrutva Nirakarana. This is when you say that it is pure, only existence is Brahma. That existence can be the either Upadana Karanam or Nimitta Karanam. So there is some Kartrutva. Kartrutvadi Karakam, that all that Karaka Prasanga will come. The say Brahman will be called the Karta, the creator of this whole universe, etc., etc. So all that contingency will arise. Kartrutvadi Karaka, Nivrutyartham, in order to negate all that thing. And also Mrudadivat Ajidrupata Nivrutyartham. You see, when you say that existence, this Sat is behind everything we see. What all we see is something, it is an appearance on that Sat, suppose we say. And when we say that, then it implies that Sat is the Karanam. So, and then when you say that it is Karanam, it becomes something like Mrut, it becomes Upadana Karanam. So, in order to negate that point also, Mrudadivat, like clay or anything, Achidrupata means sentience. Insentience. Achit is insentient. Achidrupata means insentience, let us say. Insentience nivrutyartham, in order to negate that it is something which is insentient. In order to negate that it is something which is jada. So then, that is why the word Jnanam Brahma is used. In fact, this I gave it as a preliminary explanation yesterday.
Yes.
When I made a preliminary explanation about this whole logic, I mentioned these things. Prayujyate. Then, Jnanam Brahmeti Vachanat
ज्ञानं ब्रह्मेति वचनात्
Praptam Anantatvam.
प्राप्तम् अनन्तत्वम्.
So there is another small, Praptam Antavatvam. Praptam Antavatvam. Oh yeah. So there is another small doubt. Jnanam Brahma iti Vachanat Antavatvam Praptam. Antavatvam means that something which comes to an end is Antavatvam. Antavat means that which comes to an end is Antavat. The status of being that is Antavatvam. So when you say Jnanam Brahma, there can be another doubt in somebody's mind, because Jnanam is also a Jnana Vritti, Chitta Vritti, isn't it? Just now we discussed, Jnanam can be a mental modification, Chitta Vritti what we call. When it is a Chitta Vritti, so this moment I am seeing this Chitta Vritti, the next moment I am seeing this pencil, next moment I am seeing another bottle there. So this Chitta Vritti comes and dies, comes and dies, comes and dies. Some other Vritti comes and replaces this. So which means there is something which is always dying. It is so limited in time. It is always ephemeral. So that means it is Antavat. This Chitta Vritti is something which is Antavat. It is having an end. It is just dying. So we are not referring to this type of jnana. We are referring to pure awareness and not to Chitta Vritti. So that is what we have to say. That is why Jnanam Brahmeti Vachanat Praptam Antavatvam. So one can mistake it to be this Chitta Vritti. Vritti Jnanam. It is not Vritti Jnanam but pure Jnanam. So that is what he says. Laukikasya Jnanasya Antavatva Darshanat. Laukika Jnanam means in ordinary transaction. In Vyavahara Dasha, Laukika Jnana means we are referring to this Vyavahara Dasha. In this Vyavahara Dasha, Jnanam is always Antavat. So now I read physics today, then after some time I forget about it, and then I go and read some chemistry, and then after some time I forget and then read some literature, and then I forget about it and then read something else. I read some astrology, astronomy, etc. I forget, and every day you are reading something, forgetting, reading something, forgetting. So that is that type of jnanam will be there. So laukika jnanam is of that nature. But this jnanam is something different from that. Ataha tan nivrutyarthamaha
अतः तन्निवृत्त्यर्थमाह
anantamiti.
अनन्तमिति.
So why that word anantam is used is only to negate that it is not vritti jnana. So this word anantam is influencing the meaning of the word jnanam. That we have to see. You see, the word satyam is influencing the meaning of jnanam. The word jnanam is influencing the meaning of satyam. The word anantam is influencing the meaning of say jnanam. Otherwise, if you simply say jnanam, it can also mean vritti jnanam. So in order to negate that vritti jnanam, this word anantam is used. So this satyam jnanam anantam parasparam na sambadhyante, that is what he initially said. That is, they do not directly, with particular reference to that sentence it was told. But then they do define one another. That also he is going to, Shankaracharya is going to say. In that particular vakyam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, all the three adjectives they connect to Brahma, it is correct regarding that meaning of sentence. But it is also true that Satyam is influencing Jnanam, Jnanam is influencing Satyam, Satyam is influencing Anantam, Anantam is influencing Jnanam. So Paraspara Niyamya Niyamaka Bhava, that is influencing one another, that is there. So this Anantam here is influencing the meaning of Jnanam. So that is in what way? That it is not vritti jnanam, that it is something which is pure consciousness. So in that sense. Then there is another small Purvapaksha. This Purvapaksha is by our friend Buddhists. Okay. Buddhists means there are so many schools of Buddhism. One school of Buddhism is this say Shunyavada. So the Shunyavadi comes up. Satyadinam Anrutadi Dharma Nivrutti Paratvat
अनुतादि धर्म निवृत्ति परत्वात्
विशेष्यस्य ब्रह्मणः
विशेष्यस्य ब्रह्मणः
उत्पलादिवद अप्रसिद्धत्वात्
उत्पलादिवत् अप्रसिद्धत्वात्
मृगतृष्णाम्भसि स्नातः खपुष्पकृतशेखरः एष वन्ध्यासुतो याति शशशृङ्गधनुर्धरः. सो इतिवत् शून्यार्थतैव प्राप्ता सत्यादिवाक्यस्य इति चेत्. Okay, up to this is Purvapaksha. Purvapakshi says, okay, he talks about, he says, okay, so you said Jnanam Brahma, you said Satyam Brahma, etc., etc. Satyadinam Anrutadi Dharma Nivrutti Paratvat. You said, your purpose is, your job, your mission is to define what is that supreme reality. When your mission is to define what is supreme reality, you went about saying that it is not that, it is not that, it is not that. You see, you said it is not that. When you said Satyam, you have refuted the idea that it can be something ephemeral. That is Anrutatva Nivaranam. Anrutatva Nirakaranam means it is not something which is ephemeral. It is something which is beyond time, etc. So that is Satya. And when you said Jnanam, you said that is to negate the fact that it is not Jada. Isn't it? Yeah. When you say Jnanam, it is to say that it is not insentient. When you say Satyam, it is to say that it is not say limited in time, and then it is say what is that? It is not unreal, it is not Anrutam. Then when you say Jnanam, it is to negate that it is not say what is this Jadam. And when you say Ananta, it is to negate that it is to say that it is not something which is limited. It is something which is na anta, unlimited, say infinite. So Anrutadi Dharma Nivrutti Paratvat. You are only saying by way of negative definitions. You are only saying by way of negative definitions, and there is nothing positive about what you are saying. And Brahma is something which is not known to anybody. Na Utpaladivad Visheshanam, na Prasiddham. It is not well known. Brahma is not something which is known like any other object, like Utpalam. Utpalam is that lily which we have seen earlier. So then, why can't we say that what all you are doing, what all you are saying is only a verbal jugglery? It is a mere verbal jugglery. So, and he is giving another example for that verbal jugglery. So he says, you see, look at that fellow who is going. What is that? Mrugatushnam bhasi snataha. So he has just taken bath In that Mrigatrishna, you know, mirage. In that mirage, which looks like water, in that water, Mrigatishnam bhasi snataha, he has just had a fresh bath in that water of mirage. Then, Khapushpa Kruta Shekharaha. Khapushpa. Kha means Akasham. Khapushpa means flower in the sky. So, in the sky, there is a tree, there is a flower. So, with that flower, he has decorated his. In olden days, men also used to wear flowers. I don't know whether you have seen. I have seen in my childhood, in my village, people used to have some long hair. And then they also used to have some sort of Judah-like women. And also they used to put flowers. I have seen people like that. About 60, 70 years ago, people were doing like that. 50, 60 years ago, I have seen. About 50 years ago, when I was a small child. So, which means that that is basically to describe that, say that a person, human people, men also, they used to wear flowers. So, this person, Khapushpa Kruta Shekharaha. Shekhara means in that shikha, in his shikha, he has put all those flowers. Flowers from the sky. Then, Yesha Vandhyasuto Yati. This gentleman is a Vandhyasuta. So, Vandhyasuta means the son of a barren woman. The son of a barren woman. Khapushpa Kruta Sheshashrunga Dhanurdharaha. Shesha means is a hare or a rabbit as we call. And rabbit doesn't have any horns. So, with that rabbit's horn, he is having that rabbit's horn, he is using it as a bow. You see, there are bows made of horns. If it is a big horn of a bull, with that bull's horn, or this buffalo's big horn of a buffalo, so with that buffalo's horn, these bows are made. I don't know whether you have heard of a thing called crossbow. There is a thing called crossbow. Such bows are strong, bows are made with the help of these horns. So like that, maybe this idea of Shankaracharya also must have seen such bows. So, of course, this is much older shloka. That is why he is quoting. So, you are talking about a fellow who has just taken bath in that what is this mirage, water from the mirage, which is non-existent. Then again, Khapushpa Kruta Shekharaha, he has decorated himself with the flowers from that sky, which are again non-existent. Then Vandhyasuta cannot come into existence. Son of a barren woman cannot come into existence. The moment he has come into existence, his mother is no longer barren. So Vandhyasuta is something which is non-existent. Then Sheshashrunga Dhanurdhara. Sheshashrunga itself is not there. Shrunga means the horn. Sheshashrunga Dhanuhu means a bow. So this Sheshashrunga Dhanurdhara, that also is non-existent. So you have done a great verbal jugglery by using the word Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That is what he said. So itivat, just like that, so Shankaracharya now and then he can be humorous also. Itivat Shunyarthataiva Prapta. Shunyarthataiva, basically to refer to Shunya. It is referring to Shunyam only. You are not talking about Brahma. Brahma, what you call Brahma is nothing but Shunyam. So that is what he is saying. Prartha Satyadi Vakyasya iti. Satyadi Vakyasya means that Satyam Jnanam Anantam iti Vakyam. Iti chet na. Lakshanarthatvat. Visheshanatvepi Satyadinam. Lakshanartha Pradhanyamityavochama. Pradhanyamityavochama. Shunyehi Lakshye. Anarthakam Lakshanavachanam. Ato Lakshanarthatvan Manyamahe. Na Shunyarthateti. Okay. Reply he says, no my dear, na Lakshanarthatvat. Because these words are meant to define. These words are meant to define that, say, Brahman. You see, this, one second. Lakshanarthatvat, for that there is one note also which this Mithya Anandagiri writes something. Visheshyatve, Visheshyamatrina, Visheshyatve Sambhavati. You see, Anandagiri writes something. Mithyarthasya Rajju Sarpadehe Sad Adhishthanattva Darshanat Prapanchasyapi Drushyatwadi Hetubhihi Mithyattvena avagatasya sadadhishtanam sambhavyate. So what he says, Anandagiri says, is something related to this. What he says is, you are seeing this Jagat. This whole world is seen. And the whole world is seen means it is having some substratum. Either it should be real on its own, or it should have some substratum. It should be an appearance on something else. This whole world is unreal. That is what we have been saying. That is, this earth is there for a few, say, million years and then it disappears. Something else is there for a few million years, it disappears. But then behind all this there is what is called some Sat. So for all this which is ephemeral, and anything which is ephemeral, anything which is born in time and dies in time, there is a technical word for that which is called Mithya. Anything which is just born in time and dies in time, it is something which is unreal. So that unreal thing is called Mithya. So for this Mithya, there is something which is substratum, which is some base against which all this is appearing. So from that point of view, there is something behind this Mithya. So that is what he says. Say the world is based on some sort of substratum. Therefore, the sentence is not about Shunya. The point here is, what Anandagiri says is, this whole sentence called Satyam Jnanam Anantam, it is not referring to Shunya, because the world which is seen, it has to have some Karanam. And that Karanam or that substratum cannot be Shunyam. Substratum is very much there. If you are seeing a snake, there is a substratum called rope. So the rope is very much there. So anyway, we will discuss this in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.